everybody. Welcome to our special training today all about Pinterest. Like I said, I'm so excited to have you here, and this is going to be an action-packed webinar that you definitely do not want to miss. So make sure that you turn your phones off, you turn the email off so it's not distracting you, grab some water so you're hydrated the whole time, and we are going to go ahead and dive in. Now, today is a special webinar because, as you know, I usually do the webinars myself, and I usually focus just on Facebook marketing. But because Pinterest is such a hot topic, it's all I hear about these days. And I knew I wouldn't be the best person to teach it because I don't know all the ins and outs of Pinterest yet. So I've invited my new friend, Melanie Duncan, to present for you. So before I have Melanie come on the line, I just wanted to say that I would never invite someone to a webinar to present to you if I didn't know it wasn't a 100% home run. And I've gotten so much great feedback from my peers about this training webinar that I had to reach out to Melanie to get her on here. So let me tell you a little bit about her. It's pretty impressive, you know, her background and where she's come from. So Melanie Duncan is the founder of the Entrepreneur Nest, that is the hardest word for me to say, Academy, an online training site that teaches thousands of women across the world how to start and grow online businesses. She started her first business in college, and after struggling with trying to figure out how to get customers using the old way of marketing, she immersed herself in learning everything about online marketing from SEO and pay-per-click to social media. Now get this, within a year she went from having a business in debt to having a successful national brand. So Melanie now owns several successful online businesses that produce over $2 million in annual revenue. Her businesses have been featured in New York Magazine and on top television shows like ABC's Good Morning America and NBC's The Nate Berkus Show. She's an international award-winning speaker and a leading expert on how to use social media's hottest new platform, Pinterest, for business. She lives in her favorite city in the world, New York City, and effectively manages her Southern California-based businesses remotely. I recently had the opportunity to chat with Melanie at a roofside networking event in New York City at Blog World this last week. So we got to chatting. I'm really excited to hear everything she has to say about Pinterest. So welcome, Melanie, to the webinar.
Thank you so much, Amy. You know, I am just beyond thrilled to be here today, and I'm sure everyone listening is already very familiar with you and familiar with just how lovely and what a wonderful person you are. But I have to say, you know, when I had the pleasure of meeting Amy, just for all of you listening out there, she is even sweeter and more wonderful in person than you could possibly imagine. I've been a fan of Amy's for a long time and always really enjoyed all of her teaching, but meeting her in person just blew me away. She's incredible. So I am just honored to be here and honored that you are hosting me today and letting me have the opportunity to serve and train some of the people on this call today. So without further ado, you know, we're all business people here. I know how important everyone's time is and how valuable it is. So I promise from the get-go, I'm really going to try and deliver the most amount of value and impact to you in this next hour as possible. So like Amy said, I hope you're hydrated, maybe just a little bit caffeinated, because we're going to get rolling on this and we're going to crank through a lot of information. But I promise you, I worked very hard to make sure that even though we're going to be covering a lot of information, I don't want you walking away overwhelmed by this teaching. I'm going to give it to you in a lot of just practical step-by-step guidance. So I really hope this serves you. So today we are, of course, covering the hot topic of Pinterest and why you can't afford to ignore the power of pinning. But I've got a little disclaimer for you before we start out. I'm not here to teach you about Pinterest because it's a super hot and sexy and trendy topic. I am actually here, and I'm so passionate about helping others learn to use Pinterest because it personally transformed my business. I mean, we're talking from true struggle to overnight success. So I'm going to show you my secrets for using Pinterest to get tons of traffic and sales. First and foremost, I am just a small business owner like many of you out there listening. So I know firsthand what a nightmare it can be to get your business the exposure and the customers that you deserve. So hopefully we're going to alleviate some of those pain points by showing you just how you can start using Pinterest very quickly in a very non-overwhelming manner. So I want to go over real quickly what we're going to be covering and what you can expect to learn in today's webinar. I'm going to be showing you specific strategies to get you the biggest amount of impact in the shortest amount of time. And this is kind of one of my pet peeves about the current Pinterest training and articles on the market right now, is a lot of people are doing broad theory, but I want to really hone it down and focus on what are 5 strategies that we can walk away with today that are going to start getting you a huge amount of impact very quickly. And I'm also going to be addressing the biggest myths and misunderstandings, because now that you're here on this webinar today, you're going to walk away as an expert. You're really going to be able to be in the top 1% of your industry and understanding how to use Pinterest to market your businesses. So of course, to get you to that level, we have to address what everyone else doesn't understand properly so that you can be, like I said, that 1% that really gets it. And we're going to be talking about what most people are doing wrong when it comes to using Pinterest for their business so that you can actually do it right. And how you can successfully integrate your Facebook and your Pinterest marketing. And this is something a little special I threw in for Amy, because I know that she's already got you guys just rocking it on Facebook. So I want to show you how you can leverage all of that success and influence you've already that you've already built on Facebook, and show you how you can start using that along with your Pinterest marketing. So you really get to integrate those two seamlessly. And I also have a surprise bonus at the end of this call, just as a special thank you. Like I said, I'm so excited to be here today, and I'm also extremely appreciative of you taking the time out of your day to be here with us. So I've got a little special thank you. I'm going to be sharing it at the end of the webinar, so don't pop away too early and miss out on it. So I don't think I need to go too far into this. Amy did an amazing job. I was so flattered. Her introduction was incredible. But just for those of you that are still rolling in, I see a few people just starting to attend the webinar. So I'm Melanie Duncan. I'm the founder of the Entrepreneurs Academy, and I teach people all across the world how to start and grow successful online businesses. And I'm going to show with you specifically today a particular personal story about how Pinterest turned me from a skeptic into a believer. And I always think that's fun to share, because I know for a fact there's probably a lot of you on this call that you're a little skeptical about Pinterest, and I totally get it, and I was too. So I'm going to be sharing with you a personal story about what helped me change my mind, and what in particular Pinterest did, or what I did with Pinterest to turn my business from struggling to successful. So just for those few of you who maybe aren't entirely familiar, just some broad strokes, what Pinterest is, how does it work. Pinterest is a virtual pin board that helps you organize and share interesting things that you find on the web. It's basically a virtual version of that, great cork board or that bulletin board that many of us have above our desks. Pinterest is just a virtual version of that, and because of it, people can pin images from other sites onto Pinterest, and then because it's a social network, other people can repin those same images onto their boards. So it's a way to categorize, but also to share with your followers, with your friends, the stuff that you're finding helpful and inspiring and useful. So you may be wondering, well, why Pinterest, and why right now? Well, first of all, something to understand about Pinterest that differentiates it is it's extremely viral. And in fact, over 80% of pins are actually repins. Now that could be compared to Twitter, where actually less than 5% of tweets are retweets. But what's exciting about this is it means that on Pinterest, your exposure can basically go on autopilot. This is really a social media platform where you can kind of sit back. There's not as much to do the intentional pushing. There's a lot of circulation that's done for you on Pinterest. And due to its simple visual nature, people are clicking through to sites more. And this is something that I personally really enjoy about Pinterest. There's a lot of other social media platforms where, we've got ads, we've got chat boxes, a lot of things that are kind of, putting our attention in a lot of different areas. But because Pinterest right now is so streamlined, it's actually doing an incredible job of referring traffic, which is very exciting, because driving traffic is an incredibly important part of an online business and getting that exposure. And it's very exciting right now to be learning about Pinterest because it is so new. You have an opportunity, unlike many other areas, to get there first and to really become a leader in your industry. Now, as the experts are saying, there's some very impressive things about Pinterest. In fact, it reached 10 million unique visitors faster than any other independent website in history. And it's actually driving more referral traffic to websites right now than YouTube Google Plus, and LinkedIn combined. And we're talking super fast. I mean, Pinterest is young. It's still in its infancy. And in fact, it's now driving more referral traffic than Twitter. Isn't that cool? Not a lot of people know that. So you're kind of getting the inside scoop here. And it's actually driving more revenue per click than Facebook or Twitter. It's kind of got more of a social commerce feel. And there's a funny story that I've heard about Facebook and about Pinterest that I think's kind of a funny comparison to share with this audience. But, you know, they talk about like Facebook is like the awesome neighborhood bar where like you go out, you engage with your friends, you hang out, where Pinterest is kind of more like a cool craft fair. There's a lot of products on Pinterest, and there's a lot of, you know, it really lends itself to discovering new products and services because it has more of that craft product service-based sharing. So it's doing a lot of exciting things in terms of social networks that are really worth paying attention to. And like I mentioned previously, stuff that's really exciting to pay attention to how you can be working the advantages of Facebook and Pinterest together. Because of course, Facebook has a lot of advantages. It's still the largest social network. It still does a lot of amazing things. So if you can start leveraging the pros of Pinterest along with the pros of Facebook, oh my gosh, you are set. And there are over 10 million Facebook connected users, which go ahead and let me know if you've got a little chat box on your screen. Write yes or no if you've ever seen any Pinterest posts on Facebook. You know, maybe you've seen people who've linked it up to their account so you see it, you know, posting on your news feed, or you've seen maybe on people's actual profile pages where it showed what's that they've pinned from Pinterest. Pinterest and Facebook are already integrating at a very exciting level, and Pinterest is getting a lot of great exposure on Facebook, which is already laying the groundwork for you to be integrating your Facebook and your Pinterest marketing. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of yeses. So again, go ahead and write in the chat box right now, yes or no if you've ever seen Pinterest posts on Facebook. Okay, so most of you are saying yes. I'm seeing a few no's, but it looks like, I mean, this is perfect proof right here. Most of you have already seen and have been introduced to Pinterest just via Facebook. So I may be going out on a bit of a limb here, but I'm willing to bet that many of you here today are not getting the exposure that your business deserves. In fact, how many of you would like a solution for getting more customers? Because I know personally that we've got some very brilliant people on this webinar today that have incredible ideas, they have really fantastic products, and they have incredibly valuable services that really could change people's lives. I mean, really exciting stuff here. But they're struggling to get the recognition and the customers and the amount of customers that they deserve. And believe me, I'm not saying this because it's something a little bird told me. I personally understand this because, you know, as business owners, many of us are facing very similar challenges. And we need a solution to help us market our businesses so that we can get our products and our services in front of more buyers. But, little secret, actually, a lot of us don't love marketing. You know, we'd rather spend our time focusing and developing our products and services, am I right? Because a lot of entrepreneurs, first and foremost, are creators. So we really excel at creating, but the whole marketing thing can be really frustrating and challenging. And as much as we hear about the merits of social media, you know, a lot of us honestly are really overwhelmed by all the different platforms, all of the constant updates and changes, and a lot of the conflicting strategies. I know personally as a business owner, a lot of times I just get really overwhelmed by social media. And in fact, many of us are really frustrated with hearing about all this success that other people are having with social media, but we're never really getting any real results ourselves. Is this striking, you know, sounding familiar to anyone? Is this hitting home? I hope so. And finally, here we go. Just like I said, all of the overwhelm, all of the updates, all the new stuff, finally, great, Pinterest shows up, you know? We're just finally getting the hang of Facebook. We're doing a few tweets here and there. Maybe we've got a video or two up on YouTube. And then Pinterest shows up, and you're like, really? Another social media platform that I have to learn and put my time and my energy into. I mean, I know as a business owner, I wasn't particularly thrilled about another thing to pay attention and have to learn to in the beginning. You know, and maybe some of you have already dipped your toe into Pinterest and you've tried it out, but you haven't really seen, you don't really get what all the fuss is about. Or maybe many of you haven't even tried it out yet because you feel like you just don't really get it. Does anyone feel like they just don't really get Pinterest yet? Well, that's what I'm here today to do. I'm here to change that. If you feel like you just don't really get Pinterest, or even if maybe you've tried using Pinterest but you haven't seen any results from it, we're here to change that today. So I hope you're excited. So I've got a bit of a personal story to share with everyone here about how Pinterest actually turned me from a skeptic. Like I said, I wasn't thrilled when Pinterest first popped up on the scene, but turned me from a skeptic into a believer. About a year ago, I started my second online business, which happened to be a line of contemporary monogrammed home decor and gifts. And since it was my second business, I was feeling pretty good about myself. I thought, I got this. I thought marketing and online would be a cinch. But unfortunately, it was not. And how many people out there can relate to that? You think, oh my gosh, this product, it's just going to sell itself. Or my service, it's so good, it's not going to be a problem. And then we have that uncomfortable realization that actually maybe things aren't going quite as we had hoped. So that's kind of how it happened for me. Everything that worked to market my first business wasn't working to market my new business. And as you can imagine, I was quite frustrated by this. But, one day an opportunity presented itself. We were actually contacted by the Nate Berkus Show to participate in an audience giveaway in exchange for being featured on the show. So I'm not sure if many of you know how this works, but sometimes to be featured on these big shows, you just have to give away a certain amount of credit or give away like your top selling product to each member in the audience. And in exchange for that, they'll feature you if they really believe in your products or your services. So it's kind of a good trade-off. But, small business owner, it was a bit of a risk. And I remember I thought for sure that this was going to be our big break, home decor company on NBC's The Nate Berkus Show, like slam dunk, right? Wouldn't you think that? And it was a really big risk on our part because we had to cover the cost to donate one of our products. It was a $75 product to each of their audience members. And they happened to have 350 audience members. So it was a bit of a financial investment on our end, right? I mean, many of you have probably made that decision where you choose to, hire a PR company or an SEO firm, and it's a lot of money up front, but you really believe in the opportunity. So I remember really believing that this was going to be it, that the exposure would be worth it, even though we really had to put a lot of money into, invest into this exposure opportunity. And I still vividly remember the day that the show was to air, and it was around the holidays, so I had my whole family together. We were scrunched in on my couch, and there was this big dramatic unveiling as Nate lifted up the box to show our products that the audience was going to win. Everyone was so excited. So he lifted up this big box, and one of the pillows was upside down. I actually took a picture here to show you. You can see the monogram on the far right. The monogram is actually upside down. And I remember that I was just totally crushed. I wanted everything to be so perfect. And, not the end of the world that the monogram was upside down, of course, but unfortunately, the upside down pillow was just a symbol of what was to come because we actually saw a very small response to this national television feature in terms of buying behavior. It was great press, but we didn't actually get that many sales from it. And as many of you know who have been featured on a national, in a magazine or on TV, what usually happens is you get a huge spike of traffic for maybe 1, 2, 3 days, but then it kind of just dissipates, like nothing ever really happened. So after that didn't work, after what I thought was my big break, after it turned out to be a bust, I just felt really, really defeated. And I thought, if a feature on a national television show can't make this business successful, I don't think anything is ever going to work. Kind of sad, right? All right, well, stay tuned. It gets better. So I happened to have a bit of a breakthrough. One day, we had more orders than usual. I was opening my inbox, and, we hadn't been seeing a lot of order activity, but we were having a good day in orders. I thought, okay, that's cool. But I was working on other stuff, didn't really pay attention to it. And then the next day, I woke up, and there were even more orders in my inbox. And I thought, okay, this is crazy. Like, maybe we had some other feature somewhere. So I logged into Google Analytics, and I was blown away. Pinterest had, slowly creeped up and become this tremendous traffic source for us. And not just traffic, but it was actually converting. And now I wish I, could tell you that, oh, I figured this out all on my own. But honestly, it was purely by accident. I had to have Pinterest get up right in my face and be like, hey, pay attention to me. You should be using me. So after I started to see this response and I wasn't even doing anything with Pinterest, you can bet I started testing and researching. And I started to develop some strategies that were really working for my business. And within just a few short weeks, I started to receive thousands of new visitors and thousands of dollars in sales just from Pinterest. And this was totally free exposure. This wasn't paid traffic. This was amazing as far as I was concerned. And before I go any further, I know that a lot of you have service and not product-based businesses. And I don't want you to be fooled like everyone else. Like I said, we're going to be addressing the big myths here. Do not mistakenly assume that you can't use Pinterest to market service-based businesses as well. In fact, I'm going to be showing you some exact strategies to leverage Pinterest to get customers for service-based businesses. So just hang tight. Now we're going to jump right in. There's actually a two-part strategy to use or to integrate Pinterest into your marketing. And the first way is by starting to add the pin buttons to your site, adding the follow me on Pinterest, actually adding the pin it button. I'm going to show you some examples in the next slide. And the second part of that strategy is with an actual Pinterest account. So you don't want to just do one or the other. I really think that it's important, and I've seen through the different accounts that I've managed and through all of the different people I've trained with Pinterest, it's important to have a two-part complementary strategy. So write this down. You want it on your site and also with the Pinterest account. That's the two-part strategy. And in terms of a Pinterest account, research actually shows that people like brands better after viewing their Pinterest page. There was this incredible research study, and the majority of the participants said that after viewing a brand's page, it improved their opinion about it, and they were also more likely to purchase something from it, okay? So we can look at this as kind of a warming up process. Now, like I said, I want to show you some exact ways that you can add the pin it button, and here's a great example, a little case study. So there's a blogger, Anna White. She basically teaches people how to build furniture for their homes. She's just what you would consider a mommy blogger. She's a mom up in Alaska, and she has a home blog. She teaches people how to build furniture. And she actually has a pin it button. She does an amazing job of integrating the pin it button all over her site, below images, below different, actual where she maps out how to build things, below posts. So she's integrated this pin it button all over her site, and she gets over 6,000 visits a day just from Pinterest. And in addition, for more product-based businesses, you can see you can actually add the pin it button below your product, so on an actual product page. So don't think this is just for blogs. There have been tons of e-commerce businesses that have reported things like quadrupled their sales just from adding the pin it button below product pages. And if you think about it, it really reminds you. I mean, maybe you weren't considering pinning these pair of shoes, but maybe it's a big splurge, $895. I mean, these are some expensive shoes. So maybe you just kind of want to think about it. Maybe it's just a fantasy thing, something that you're really going to aspire and use for motivation. Well, when you see that pin it button, it reminds you and it really encourages. I mean, that's a call to action, pin it. So that is a great job of getting people, when they pin that, it then introduces that content. It's like a news feed, like on Facebook. When you pin something, all of your followers can see what you've pinned on the news feed when they log in. So it's a very cool way to get exposure for brands and services and products just by getting other people to pin your stuff. So here's a super stealth ninja trick for all of you. So I want you to write this down. You can actually go to pinterest.com/source/ whatever your website is. So my website, the home decor one I was telling you about, is called Luxury Monograms. So you don't want to actually do the www before your website, but I would do pinterest.com/source/ luxurymonograms.com. Does that make sense to everyone? I want to make sure you get this. But what this is a way to see what other people have already pinned from your site. And this is such valuable information for you to have, because it allows you to see what people are already responding to, what types of images they like, what types of products they're starting to pin and recirculate, so you can do more of that. You can bet that what people are already pinning is stuff that is going to work well for you to pin as well. So I want to give everyone a second. I'm going to take a drink of my water here, but I want you to write down this URL because after the presentation, I want you to do a little research and see if there's already stuff. Maybe you've never pinned anything, but a lot of people are shocked to see that there's already been stuff from their site pinned, and this is very exciting. Okay, now when you are going to set up your account, I want to teach you a few of the common mistakes people make so that you don't make them as well. So when you're setting up your account, I want to show you right here, you want to actually, if you're going to brand it as a business, which I really do suggest, unless you have a personal brand and you've got a lot of value behind your name, I really suggest if you're setting up a brand page to actually, for first and last name, put the name of your business in this area. And it's a little counterintuitive. Pinterest doesn't have like a personal account and a business page like Facebook does. Right now, there's only one kind of account. So when you're using it for business, you've got to be a little bit inventive and on the ball to really use it properly. So you want to put your business name in this area, not just your first and last name, because this is what's going to show up at the top of your profile page right here. So if you're doing it as a brand, you want your brand name right there. But also this about section. I see so many people missing out on this opportunity here. This is a very important. You have 200 characters in this about section. And you want to make sure that in a very concise manner that you're really articulating who you are, what your business is about, what you offer, right? I mean, people are going to be landing on this page, and you want them to be able to glance. This about section shows up right under your username or right under your profile name. So this is very important, top center screen real estate. And you would be amazed by the amount of people I see that just write something like, from San Diego, California, or like they just don't take advantage of this area. You really want to use all 200 characters and make sure. This is also an incredible opportunity to use keywords. Pinterest has a lot of very exciting ways for you actually to be getting SEO optimization or search engine optimization where you actually can rank higher for certain search terms. So if you have certain terms that you know, like different keywords that you want to be appearing in search engines as a result, include that in this about section because this is really great SEO food. So you can see for this brand that I do home decor, I've included, our main categories, our top sellers. I put those words in there. But again, you want to, in more of a sentence structure, you want to integrate these keywords. So, an average consumer could land on this page, read the sentence or two, and grasp a really good, clear understanding of what you do, what you offer, or what you sell. And you also want to make sure that you add your website and that you add some sort of an image. This could be a logo. This could be if you've got a really great product shot of something, or if you're a service provider, this could just be a really great photo of you to start connecting on more of an individual level with these viewers. So these are some main tips for you to walk away for setting up your account properly. Now, this is one of my favorite tricks for integrating Facebook and Pinterest. And not a lot of people know how to do this. And I apologize in advance because I know this link is a pain in the butt. And actually, I'm hoping that one of our techs on this webinar today can actually post this link in the comments area, in the chat section. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm hoping someone will actually post this link in the comments area. But if they don't, I'm going to talk about this for a few minutes. So I'm going to stay on this page and just try to write down this link, worst case scenario. But this is a link that actually allows you to install a Pinterest button or a Pinterest tab on your business Facebook page. Because here's the deal. Currently, you can hook up a Pinterest account to a personal Facebook account, okay? So a personal. But you can't link your personal, or excuse me, a Pinterest account with a business page. That makes sense to everyone? You can't link a Pinterest account with a business page. And by linking, I mean where it automatically posts and updates every time you've pinned something, or some of the, the things that we talked about earlier that you've seen Pinterest activity automatically on news feeds. You can't do that on a business page quite yet. You can absolutely, cut and copy links to certain boards or to your account and post those on your Facebook page manually, but right now Pinterest won't let you hook it up to a business page on Facebook. But what works really well, just kind of a loophole, is you can add this Pinterest tab, and it's super easy. You just go to this link at the top. Hopefully it's been posted in our comments area. But if you click on this link, it's literally, I want to say, a 3-step process, and allows you to just pop in that Pinterest tab on your business Facebook page so that you can choose if you want it to be one of those first 4 tabs that's showing, and it allows you to if people click on that, it'll show basically a preview where people can actually interact with Pinterest while still being on Facebook. So it shows all your boards, it shows all your followers, they can click on a board and see the pins within it. So it's a great way to integrate your Facebook or your Pinterest activity on your Facebook page. So hopefully you can go ahead and get that tab. If for some reason you don't have a chance to write this down, I'm sure you can probably Google, Pinterest tab for Facebook, something like that. But I wanted to at least give you guys a chance because I think this tab is an excellent way to start getting people to get that visibility and to realize that you do have an account on Pinterest as well. And another awesome way, I think, for integrating Facebook and Pinterest marketing is by doing contests on Pinterest in which you promote on Facebook. And I know that Facebook, Amy, you're welcome to pop in here because you're definitely the expert on this, but I know Facebook has, a lot of regulations about what you can and can't do in terms of contests. But right now, Pinterest is still, they're still winging it. They're still figuring stuff out. They're babies. So there's not a lot of regulations in terms of contests. You can kind of host contests however you want on Pinterest. But something that I've seen brands doing, and I hope it's okay, is they actually will feature a contest on Pinterest, but they'll post about it on their Facebook page. So they'll actually say like, hey, I hope you check out, we've got a great contest going on Pinterest, check it out here, and they'll include a link. And this is Bergdorf Goodman. It's a syndicate of Neiman Marcus in New York, a big store, very nice. They did a great Pinterest contest recently. I wanted to show you guys an example of where they promoted this on their Facebook page. They took this screenshot off of Facebook, and they just linked it to a blog post where they kind of explained, exactly how the contest worked and exactly what you needed to do to be entered. So I thought that was kind of a cool way to engage your Facebook audience or your Facebook following by kind of telling them, hey, check us out on Pinterest, and not just check us out on Pinterest, but actually here's an incentive for why, and featuring a contest on it. So what I want to encourage you to do is to pin original content. Like we said earlier, over 80% of pins are repins on Pinterest. So the way to look at it is you've basically got an online virtual army of people who will circulate content for you. So if you're just kind of pinning and repinning what everyone else is pinning, it's going to be beneficial, but it's not going to have the same amount of opportunity as if you're creating content specifically to put onto Pinterest. And a fun fact is trending topics, so something that's really relevant, to current events on Pinterest, they see a 94% increase in click-throughs. So, for example, something I always talk about is holidays. If you've got a product or a service that somehow relates to holidays, whether it's a special promotion or maybe product usage ideas or inspiration based around a holiday theme, if you can cater your pins to kind of be talking about something that's happening in the here and now, 94% increase in click-through. So start thinking about curating your content to be responding to trending topics. And the other cool thing is that when you create your own original content, you can choose where you want it to link to. Now, when you pin something off of a site, it already has that original source code in it, so it's going to link to wherever you pinned it from. But a cool trick is you can actually edit where your pins link. You just hover over the pin in the top left if it's your pin. You can click on that and choose where it links. So this is very cool. Depending on the industry you're in, you could actually choose to link to a particular blog post. You can actually upload an image. Not a lot of people know this. You can upload an image off your computer. Maybe you created on Photoshop. Maybe it's something, photo you have. You can upload it, but you have to go back in and put in a link so it links somewhere. Otherwise, it won't link anywhere. And, we want referral traffic. We want exposure. So it's very important to make sure all your pins link somewhere, ideally to your website or to your blog. So you always want to go in and make sure you edit where your pin links. And the sky's really the limit here. We're seeing not enough people are really leveraging this opportunity because you could link to product pages. You could link into an opt-in page if you wanted to get more signups for your newsletter. Something really cool I did is I created an image just, really easy. I think I used PicMonkey. It's P-I-C, monkey.com. And I just wrote something. I said, hey, click here to get a free list of online resources and tools. And that's a free gift I give away for signing up for one of my newsletters. And I had people clicking through, and I linked it to my opt-in page, and they would sign up for my newsletter. I had it set up so they would automatically get emailed that list of tools. But you could actually be creating pins and then linking to an opt-in page to get signups for a newsletter. So some really creative ways that no one's doing yet. I mean, these are really exciting opportunities. So I want to present to you 5 ways for you to take your information and to make it visual. Because like I said, product-based businesses, it's kind of a no-brainer. Like, people are really understanding, not at an optimal mastery level, but people understand you can pin a product, right? It's pretty basic. But for service-based businesses, a lot of them aren't understanding, well, how would what would I pin? So I'm going to give you 5 ways for you to take your information and to make it visual. Now, the first way is with infographics. And infographics are a wonderful way to provide a ton of value, to also establish your credibility and to build a relationship. I mean, I always think about the law of reciprocity, right? The more someone gives to you, the more you want to give back. So in terms of courting future clients or customers, think about what you can give to them in terms of, helpful things, helpful information, insights that maybe you have because you're an expert or a leader in your industry that the average consumer does not. Infographics are a wonderful way for you to be taking information and putting it in a very pinnable visual format. And actually, infographics kill it on Pinterest. They have so much circulation. They get so much engagement. So start thinking about that. And infographics, I think people get really overwhelmed, but you can go to basic websites like Fiverr, Fiverr.com, and a lot of people will make you an infographic, graphic designers, for like $5. It's not a big deal. It's very simple to do. And if you are doing that, I've got a secret strategy for you. You want to try to make your pins tall. Right now, you can actually maximize a lot of pixel dimension and screen real estate and visibility just by making an image taller than it is wider. And you can see I took this screenshot off of my newsfeed on Pinterest. All these regular size pins, your average 4x6 basic stuff. But look how much more of an opportunity for visibility this tall pin has. And when you're creating infographics in particular, infographics and tutorials, which I'm going to be getting to in just a second, you have a tremendous opportunity. They naturally want to be tall images. So take advantage of that. And when you are creating your own original content, try and make it tall. Just a secret strategy for you. Now, tutorials, these work incredibly for both product and service-based businesses. And tutorial pins, research shows they actually see a 42% higher click-through rate. So we're talking about the amount of people that click on this pin and then go to where it links, so to your site, to your blog, to your product page, because this is a great, think about if you sell a product and you could create a tutorial about how to use it, or give people ideas, maybe out-of-the-box ideas how to use it. I just saw this great tutorial pin someone did on Dawn, on the dish soap. And they showed like all different ways to use Dawn, like things you would never think about, like it actually is like a bug spray or something crazy like that. But I mean, if you sell a product and you have access to a lot of, you've gotten feedback on how people use it in different ways that maybe no one would think of. So for both product and service businesses, tutorial pins are an excellent, excellent way to be creating content, original content onto Pinterest. And people really respond to this useful information. I've been doing a lot of testing recently, and testing, do people respond more to just really pretty images, which is what most people assume about Pinterest, or do they actually respond to really useful or interesting information? And 9 times out of 10, I am seeing the most engagement, the most repinning, the most comments, the likes are coming from useful, like information-based pins versus just a pretty picture of somewhere. And I think that holds tremendous opportunity for businesses to start realizing that and tapping in on it. And like I said, useful information. And a really great way to create useful information pins is to actually create how-to pins. And this is where people are actually using an image and doing text overlay that gives a preview to benefit, like what they're going to learn on the other side. And you can see someone did, 31 days to a clean home. They're having a Martha house the merry way. So she's linking to her blog where she's giving, cleaning tips, or maybe she's selling cleaning services. I'm not sure. But you can see, look at this pin right here. It is a basic image of a camera and then learn to use it. So we're talking text overlay on an image. And then the caption, 13 most popular photography tips of all time, need to learn. So this could link, if you have a photography blog, if you are a photographer and you maybe share some information and then you want to highlight you've got services on top of that, or maybe you teach photographers, look at this, 133 repins. And this was just taken off of a screenshot. So I mean, I have no idea how many pins this ultimately ended up getting. Way more than 133. But people are responding like crazy to useful and teaching-oriented information on Pinterest. Too many people are assuming it's just pretty pictures that don't actually do anything. People are on Pinterest to discover new content, new services, new skills even. So I really want you to be thinking about creative ways that you can be maximizing and leveraging this for your business. And again, more example of these how-to images. I do not see enough people doing this, and I know for a fact this drives crazy traffic from Pinterest. Because as much as an infographic is great, and I see a ton of repins from infographics, these pins people click through because they have to. There's not a lot of inherent value in just this picture. But what it does is it whets people's appetite. It gets them curious, right? I mean, aren't you curious now how to introduce green into your home? This is from an interior blogger or interior designer blogger. And, you know, she gets a ton of traffic from these pins because it gets people interested. They click through. And then once they're on your site, they're leaving comments. They're signing up for your newsletter. They're checking out what products or services you offer. It's a great entry level to be driving that traffic off of Pinterest and onto your site. And the fourth way, another amazing idea for creating original content and for taking information and making it visual, is to pin videos. You can actually pin videos directly off of YouTube. Videos are a way underutilized content form on Pinterest. All you have to do is get that little pin it button into your navigator. You can go to under the About section on Pinterest, you click on Goodies. And they give you literally just drag and drop this little pin it button into your own browser, and you can pin videos straight off of YouTube. It's so easy. It takes seconds. And then this is a great way. Lionsgate, the Hollywood film studio, they went from 200,000 to over 400,000 views in 5 days, you guys. Just 5 days, simply by pinning the content. And when you pin a video, Pinterest automatically puts this awesome, like, big black play button in the middle of the image. It instantly grabs your eye. So when you see a video on a page of a lot of other pins, I'm telling you from personal experience, all of a sudden you want to click that play button. Who doesn't want to watch a video? And we all know how important video is in terms of online content. So you need to be leveraging this and actually pinning videos onto YouTube. If you have videos of you where you're talking direct to camera, you know, maybe trying to build a relationship or share some of your expertise, share an opinion, or even if maybe you don't want to be on camera, but you could record yourself maybe doing something online or walking someone through a process online or, you know, a website, you can record just your screen and pin that onto Pinterest. There's a lot of opportunities, and this is an incredible way to get a ton of views and exposure, and just to be integrating video as well. And I love this. The fifth and final way is with results and testimonials. I'm really forcing you guys to be creative and think outside the box. It's not just about pinning stuff straight off your site. It's also about creating the type of content on Pinterest that really adds value and builds your brand. And I love this. This is from a great fitness professional, Amy. I think you know her, Liz D'Alto. She did this great pin where she showed in a single image, day 1 and day 10 after her program, the physical. I mean, who doesn't love a before and after? Can I get an amen? I mean, my favorite videos or my favorite movies are the ones where they do some sort of, you know, makeover scene where you get to see, like, oh, this is what she looked like before, and then we, like, dyed her hair and she went shopping and we put makeup on her and look what she looks like now. I mean, we all love a good before and after. That's why all of those reality, you know, shows are so popular that do the transformation in 60 minutes, you know? So think about how you could be doing results and also testimonials. I've actually pinned, you know, if you ever get a testimonial from a client, maybe on Facebook or an email, I'll actually take a screenshot and I'll pin that onto one of my boards. I have a testimonials board. And that adds crazy value to your brand. When someone comes to your Pinterest account and they see that you've got a board full of just like raving testimonials about your products or your services or your business, I mean, that's an incredible way to be using Pinterest and a really unique opportunity that no one else is doing. I'm telling you guys, people aren't doing this, and it's so, so smart. And the people that I have taught to do this and what I have done, this stuff works. I'm not just giving you theory. This is tested stuff that has really, really worked. In addition, so we went over some really great ways for you to be creating, the images to pin, but the second opportunity is within your captions. And again, I know I keep saying this, but it's because really no one understands how to use Pinterest. No one is doing this in their captions, and they're leaving so much money on the table. They're losing out on so much traffic because they're not doing this properly. Okay, so get ready to write this down. When you are creating captions, you have to do some sort of caption under your pin. You have to write something. Pinterest requires it. And I'm sure a lot of you have seen, sometimes people just do a period. Just a dinky little period. Don't do that. What you want to do is the systematic approach. You want to include a call to action. And a CTA, you guys need to know this industry jargon. A CTA is a call to action. And what that means is you basically tell someone directly what you want them to do. Like you can see right here, click here, or sign up here. But I like to use click here. Tell them what you want them to do. And research has shown that featuring a call to action in the caption of a pin increases engagement by over 80%. And by engagement, we mean click-throughs, comments, repins, likes, all that good stuff we're after. 80% increase just by simply including a call to action in the caption. And you also want to do keywords. We talked about SEO a little bit in the About section, but in the caption of the pin is another huge missed opportunity for featuring keywords. And this gives you an incredible, not just navigation on Pinterest, because Pinterest actually hyperlinks. You can see when you use a hashtag on here, Pinterest hyperlinks it. So when I click this, all of the results for market will come up. All of the results for business will come up. So it's a great within Pinterest navigation tool. But you also can build backlinks this way. If you're including keywords, you can build backlinks for your search engine optimization just by, you don't even have to have the hashtag for backlinks. But these key terms, the words that you're using, every time you're pinning, and when people are repinning, those are creating backlinks. And backlinks are one of the most essential, if not the most essential aspect of SEO. And we don't have time today, but I have to tell you, SEO is some powerful stuff. It has my first business, that's what made it successful, was SEO. So this is a huge opportunity just for SEO to be using Pinterest. And you want to include a price if you're actually pinning a product, or even if it's a service. If it's something that you have a quantifiable value on, you want to pin a price. And again, another study showed that pins with prices actually got 30%, 36% more likes. So that's good. You want likes. Likes, again, are going to get you more engagement, more visibility. There's a special category on Pinterest on your account for the things that you've liked for the actual pins. So likes are good. Feature your prices. And also, Pinterest slaps on this great banner if you feature a price. And all you have to do to get this price is to actually numerically put the $ and put the amount of the price. And this banner automatically appears. And it also will program you to then show up in their gifts section. On their homepage, Pinterest has a section under gifts, and it breaks it down into price categories. And if you put a price on your pin, it will put you in the respective category. And a link. No one is doing this, and it's so awesome. You can actually put a link in your caption, and this is great because a lot of Pinterest savvy people realize if you click on the image, it'll take you to the source. But a lot of people are very new to Pinterest. They're not entirely sure what it means. But we all understand what happens when we see a link, when we see a hyperlink, right? If we're on the internet, we at least get that. So you can actually just type in the URL. Pinterest automatically will hyperlink whatever you put in there in the caption. So this is another way to get more click-throughs, more engagement, and to drive more traffic. So I hope you write this down, these 4 points for killer captions: your CTA, keywords, price, and a link. And I did this example for you guys right here just to show you. So you see I've got my call to action, I've got my keywords. I chose to do hashtags just to, do some categorization and some user navigation. But you don't have to do hash links if you don't want to. And then, of course, very important, link and price. So I want to wrap up with just a few case studies, and I want to also mention, I didn't mention this in the beginning, I will be doing a Q&A portion at the end of this webinar. So if you've got questions, if you have some concerns that are popping up, just write them down to the side. I will be taking questions in a Q&A section very shortly, so don't freak out if you do have some questions. We'll get to it and I'll definitely address it. But I want to show you a company called Birchbox. How many people have heard of Birchbox? It's the coolest company. You basically sign up. It's a monthly membership, and they send you different types of like product samples for cosmetics. It's very cool every month. But I love on their Pinterest account, they created a board called Birchbox TV. And what they did is they pinned all different sorts of videos showing how to use their different products. So maybe it's a really great, new eyeliner, or you can see this one right here. They're showing you how to do a polka dot manicure. So, maybe they sent out a lot of great nail polish samples that month or something. But this is such a great idea for both product and service-based businesses to give usage instruction and ideas. Maybe you have a business product that is kind of confusing for people to use or to implement. What if you gave, could even be software. What if you did some great video tutorials? Like I said, this could even just be of your screen, of you walking through particular aspects. Maybe this could be something, you have client interviews that you want to share with people. You can create a board just with videos on Pinterest. And I love that they call it Birchbox TV. It's like giving them their own little, video channel on Pinterest. So I wanted to show you and give you this idea because I think a lot of brands could really be leveraging doing a similar idea. And Society Social, this is a great online e-commerce store owner. She sells a lot of furniture, mostly based around entertaining. I think some of her best sellers are these bar carts. But I love the way that she set up her Pinterest account because she's got a mix. She's got these boards, and within each board you could have, anywhere from 2 to 200 pins. So within these boards, she's created these online catalogs where she's actually grouped her products based upon the category. But she's also done these great, I want to say lifestyle boards, but they're more than that. So say, for instance, she's got Life is a Celebration. Now this board in particular, she's got lots of awesome pictures of parties and like vintage photographs and party fashion. But in addition, she's also pinned like some of her great furniture that works really well. She's got this great cocktail table that's great for parties. So she's also done some mix boards where she's featured her own products, but also a lot of great content. And she's even got stuff, where is it? Bar accessories. She sells bar stuff. I know, for instance, she's got, maybe it's this one where she actually pinned like lots of great cocktail recipes, which is cool. So, she sells bar cards and she's got those products that she's pinned on that, but she also pinned like all these awesome cocktail recipes. So start thinking about, how do people use your products and services? How could you be pinning other stuff that would actually aid in, the enjoyment and the amount of satisfaction that they get out of using your stuff? It's all about adding value. I'm sure Amy talks about this a lot with Facebook marketing. The same thing applies to Pinterest marketing. You want to pin your stuff, but you also want to pin things that your followers and your customers are really going to benefit from. Okay, so I want to give you an opportunity to get ahead of everyone else, and I really don't want you to miss out because very few people are even aware that they can use Pinterest to market their businesses. And the truth is, even if they are on Pinterest, they probably have no idea what they're doing because not all pins are created equal. And it's not enough to just be on Pinterest. I hope that you don't walk away feeling like, oh, I just need to have a Pinterest account. Because not all pins are created equal. You need to learn how to properly capitalize on using Pinterest for your business. And if you're not, you're really missing out on thousands of customers and a lot of sales. Like, I don't even want to think about, if I hadn't started using Pinterest for my business luxury monograms, I probably would have taken the site down. Like, it just would not have even been worth it. So I know you have a lot to lose if you're not using Pinterest properly for your business. And I really emphasize properly because sometimes people tell me before they've gone through my training, they say, I've used Pinterest, it doesn't work. And that makes me so sad because it's so much harder to convince them. It's not that Pinterest doesn't work, it's just that you're probably using it in a way that exactly like you're doing your Facebook marketing. And like Amy said, it's different. You have to approach it from a different sort of skill set with different strategies. And, you shouldn't be frustrated with yourself. It's not common knowledge. It's really stuff that I have spent a lot of time and energy researching and testing. So, I want to give you a shortcut, because a very common excuse from I hear from a lot of people is they just don't have enough time. They say, Pinterest sounds great. I know it's supposed to be really hot and cool to use, but I just don't have enough time to take it on. But the truth is, everyone has time for a real solution to a problem. And I'm going to give you a shortcut, because I can easily teach you how to master Pinterest marketing. And I want to give you the opportunity to transform your business and get more traffic and more sales. Because you have the opportunity to literally shoot ahead of everyone else and take a shortcut to learning how to get some serious results using Pinterest. I have basically packaged together months and months of in-depth testing and research in a variety of fields. I mean, we're talking all different industries. Hopefully I've illustrated that for you. This isn't just for product-based businesses. This isn't just for home decor. I've literally taught people in every sort of field, from real estate to social media marketing and consulting, and I've put together a comprehensive step-by-step plan for how to use Pinterest to get tons of traffic and tons of sales. Not just traffic, but really quality leads that are going to convert into sales for you. So I want to go over that in my training, what you're going to be getting, like I said, step-by-step systems and a comprehensive guide to mastering Pinterest marketing with no confusion and no overwhelm. I know a lot of you are probably, you're wondering, okay, this is something new to tackle. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm a little nervous about this. I really focus a lot. I'm not a particularly tech-savvy person. I have to come right out here and say that. Like, just the fact that I'm on a webinar. My husband had to help me set it up, So you don't have to be a total tech guru to understand how to do this stuff with Pinterest. And especially the way that I teach it, I want you to understand you're not going to have that confusion and this overwhelm. That's why I created this course. And I'm going to teach you how to translate your knowledge and your expertise into images, because that's really how you unlock mastery with Pinterest marketing. It's not just pinning stuff. That's the common assumption. I don't just want you to pin stuff. I want to teach you how to pin the right stuff. And more importantly, as I hope you learn from those 5 ways to actually make your information visual, I'm going to teach you how to take your knowledge and expertise and turn it into pinnable images that are just going to spread like wildfire. And these are the type of pins that are going to add credibility, and they're going to position you as an expert that are really going to help you sell, whether it is a product or a service-based business you're promoting. But most importantly, I'm going to teach you how to avoid the common pitfalls that everyone else is making on Pinterest, because it's really important for me. I can't tell you enough how much I want you to be successful with Pinterest. I am a female business owner, an online business owner, and we're up against a lot. We really, really are. It's much harder to make an online business successful than a lot of people think it is. So I really want to partner with you, and it is so important to me that you are successful with your Pinterest marketing. So I want to teach you what not to do, how to avoid all those common traps and those mistakes that everyone else is making, so that you can really become a leader in your industry and just rock your Pinterest marketing. And I want to share with you some results that a lot of my clients have seen from using my strategies. I work with an interior designer. I showed you her how-to pins. She saw a huge and consistent spike in traffic to her posts by using that strategy of those how-to pins. And I've worked with social media experts, lots of consultants. I've taught them how to properly structure their accounts to get followers, so that when they pinned their ebook, they were getting dozens of sales within hours. And I've worked with multiple e-commerce owners that have gotten the same result, and this is just so exciting. So they have gotten more orders in a month after going through my Pinterest training than they have gotten in the entire year, okay? We're talking, because of this amount of traffic and because of the amount of the quality and consistency of the traffic, more sales in a month than in an entire year. If that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what I can do for you. And I want to share with you just a few testimonials before we get to the Q&A section. from some of my past clients. This girl, I just love her. Her name's May, and I've worked very closely with her, and she was really, really frustrated, and she was really struggling to get traffic to her site. And as she says, you know, she's very forthcoming. I was so discouraged about it. And she did. She went through the course. She says, I went through exactly, and she did. She created pins that were exactly like how I taught. The call to actions, the links in the captions. She did an awesome job. And she says, one day I posted and pinned a topic that apparently people are very interested in. It was about how to heal a sunburn in one night. So here we go again. It wasn't the prettiest pin, but she was learning to focus on translating her information and her expertise and making it visual. And she went from about 25 visits a day for over a year. So for about a year, she was getting 25 visits a day to over 1,000 visits in a single day in 1 month after going through my training. So from 25 to 1,000 each day. So you're talking in a month, you know, that's close to what, 30,000 visits in a month? So she said, I had about 3,000 visits total for 1 year. And after my post, it went up to over 52,000 and counting. That single post has over 36,000 pins now. And I'm seeing people look at posts all over. So it's not just that post, but it's gotten her entire site tons and tons and tons of exposure. And she said, I'm so excited about this. I finally have the traffic I've been looking for. How many of you would like a solution to get the traffic you've been looking for? She says, this small success gave me the encouragement I needed to keep going. If you do exactly as Melanie says, you too will see success. Thank you, Melanie, for the Academy and the Power of Pinning. So I want you to see this really does work. Not just for me, it works for a lot of different people. And I can't tell you, the best thing in the world to me is just getting tons of testimonials. Amy, I'm sure you feel the same way, you know, whether they're emails or on my Facebook account, but people just saying, you know, I got my traffic from Pinterest after the course from 8th to 3rd. You know, people saying, when I first joined Pinterest, I didn't really get it, and now I do. And, you know, I even include tips for how to get a lot of followers really fast. And Rebecca used some of my strategies, and she got Victoria's Secret. They have literally, I think, like thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of followers on Pinterest, and she got them to repin her pin and got just an incredible amount of exposure from it. And just tons and tons of testimonials. I love Judy posted this. She says, you know, I did debate about should I or shouldn't I purchase this tutorial versus what I can find on my own and learn for free. She said, I'm so glad I purchased this because it saved me a huge amount of research time that I don't have, and it gave me lots of great tips and ideas well beyond just how to pin. And that's what I want you to consider. I know you're all smart. You can do this. You could probably, you know, go on Google, pull up some articles about how to pin, but it's not going to be the same as going through this training. And yes, you probably could figure out some strategies through your own trial and error, but it's going to take you a long time, and honestly, you don't need to. I'm giving you the opportunity to take a shortcut. I mean, to literally just get leaps and bounds ahead of your competition as they're stumbling around trying to figure out how to use Pinterest. You could literally sit down and within a day, like, I got this. I figured this out, this training, feel empowered instead of frustrated. And literally, if you follow my strategies that are time-tested, like I said, months and months of research, people are going to come across your board and your Pinterest account, and they're going to be like, holy smokes, how does this person know what they're doing so well? And it's going to just add tremendous value to your brand because people are going to be like, Pinterest is so new. Nobody even knows how to use it. This person obviously knows what they're doing, and it's going to reflect across the entire value of your expertise and your product offerings. And, you know, I want to emphasize really fast results. You know, I think we are a culture of instant gratification, and I love this. I get tons of people that tell me, like, I got an order in less than 24 hours, or I started seeing traffic within 1 day. You can get results very, very quickly with Pinterest. It's very fast, and so I think that's a huge selling point for using it. Okay, so now I have a choice to present you. You can A, stick to what you're doing. Whatever you're doing, however you're marketing, just, you know, keep plugging away at it. But I have a feeling that if you're here today, I just have this sneaking suspicion that most likely what you're doing may not really be working very well for you, or maybe you just want it to work better. You're looking for ways to improve. So, this is a choice for you. You can just stick to what you're doing and just put your head down. But, you have a lot to lose. But maybe you're here because you love new opportunities and you want to take your business to new heights. And if that's you, I have a second option for you, option B, which is that you have the choice to embrace this revolutionary new social media platform. You can go through my training and really you can become a leader in your industry, because Pinterest is very different than other social media platforms. And because of that fact, it's necessary for you to learn, for you to actually develop skills on how to use it properly. And I see so many people try and quit Pinterest because they don't learn, they don't take the time to learn what they need to know to be successful. And then they're frustrated because they're not getting results. And it took me trial and error and, hundreds of hours of research to really learn the best practices and the most effective strategies. But there's no reason that you need to go through that intensive process too. In fact, doing so is really a bad business decision. It's a poor use of your resources when someone is offering you a shortcut. So I want to give you the opportunity to take a shortcut and start seeing bigger results faster. And in my training, the first module, I go through all the basics, video tutorials on how you can join, how it actually works, and how to properly set up your account. I'm going to be giving you just a in-depth, step-by-step training so that you're not bumbling around on Pinterest just trying to figure it out to start with. Because it's different, it's confusing. But then in the second module of this course, so this training course is 7 modules of video instructional. So each module has tons of videos in it. But you can learn all about the new world of social media, including how you can use Pinterest with secret SEO strategies and why there is this unique opportunity to get there first. And in Module 3, I go very, very in-depth on how to create powerful pins. And if you're at all impressed or you've enjoyed some of the ideas and strategies that we've gone through in this webinar today, I have to tell you, we just barely scratched the surface. My training course goes so much further into detail about the most common mistakes people make when they're pinning, more ideas for how to make your information visual, what you need to do to make your pins pop to really stand out against the other ones, and what you can do to get your pins to go viral. And I think we all love the word viral, and the reason is because it really means less work for us and more exposure. That's what viral is. It's other people getting the exposure for us. And in the fourth module of my course, I go through all different types of case studies of how other businesses across all sorts of different industries are using Pinterest in really unique and effective ways. So I go through tons of case studies of the best ideas and practices from brands, how you can actually leverage contests, how other businesses are leveraging contests on Pinterest, and the best ways for social media integration. Module 5 is all about branding, how you can use Pinterest to create incredible raving fans and customers, and how you can use your Pinterest page to tell your story. Your story is such an essential aspect in marketing your business. In addition, we go through how to create particular boards and structure them so that they engage and express and communicate. And in the 6th module, I teach you how to get lots of followers, because you have to know how to build that follower base, right? So we teach you the best strategies for getting lots of followers very fast, how to turn your current customers, how to leverage your current audience and turn them into followers onto Pinterest, and my 3-step system for turning your social media influence into income. And the 7th and final module teaches you all about how to actually measure your results. And I think this is one of the most common mistakes people make with social media, is they don't actually measure what's working and what's not, so they don't know what to do more of. So I teach you how specifically on Pinterest you can track your best pins and create a strategy from that. In addition, what you can learn to better shape and grow your business based upon the information that your followers will give you on Pinterest, including specific resources and tools you need for your Pinterest marketing. So when I was first looking at what I wanted to sell this course for, I was looking at a lot of the online courses that I had taken that were around $2,000. They had a lot of great training. They teach you branding. They teach you client attraction techniques, possibly even SEO. Because I've personally hired SEO firms that cost like $5,000 a month, and they'll create backlinks for you and do all of that. So when I was first thinking about pricing, I was like, okay, a lot of products on the market, teaching this sort of training with this sort of amount of value are around $2,000. But I didn't want to sell this product for $2,000 because I personally know the amount of internal struggle to buy a $2,000 product. I have done it, and it's really stressful, and a lot of people just don't have that money available. And like I said, I'm really passionate about helping people learn how to use Pinterest. I want you to be successful with this. And I knew that a $2,000 price would just scare a lot of people off. So then I thought about the price of $297 because I thought, there's a lot of great social media training programs around $297. I definitely know, they say, I think is that, Amy, you know this better than me, but I think the average Facebook fan can be worth like $130 to your business, something like that, like around 100, 200, between that frame. And so I thought, okay, well, I know with Pinterest, like I know for a fact that just getting a few more customers on Pinterest could be worth $297. But I also knew the amount of resistance. Like I said, there's a lot of people that are super skeptical about Pinterest. We don't really want to give in. We're internally struggling with this whole, oh, Pinterest, something else. But I also wanted to offer a special price for those of you on this webinar today because, like I said, you have hung on with me now for an hour. You've given me your time, your attention, and I really, really appreciate that. And I'm also just very excited that you're excited about this opportunity if you've stuck on this long. So today I want to offer you my 7-module training for just $97. So that's the 7 modules. It's literally dozens of video tutorials that you can instantly access online to get you kick-started and soaring ahead of all of your other competition. I mean, you do not want to lose out on this opportunity, and I don't want you to lose out on this opportunity. So I tried to give you a price that you really could not refuse because I don't want you to lose out on the customers and the exposure that is just waiting for you on Pinterest. It really is. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity. And because of that, and because I am so confident in the quality of my training and what it can do to transform your business, I'm offering you a 60-day money-back guarantee. So you can basically take my training, you can access it instantly online, start watching the videos, start setting up your account, and I will give you 60 days to test it, to try it, to see if you're getting results. And I want you to be passionate about this. And if you are not excited about the results you're seeing, and if you do not feel that this is literally the best Pinterest training on the market, I will personally refund your money. I don't want you to have anything to lose here. I don't want you to lose out on the opportunity to use Pinterest for your business. So I'm willing to take that risk for you and let you have my training. And if you're not happy, I will personally refund your money.